What's up, y'all? So, I see a lot of people always talking about what truck to buy and all that. Listen, I've invested over $500,000 in just buying trucks so I can figure this out. And you know, a lot of people want to glamorize trucking and show a lifestyle and show how they make it rain. Well, you know what? I want to make it rain too. I make it rain with titles. You know what I'm saying? Keep it going. I make it rain with titles. So, tune in, man. Let's get to the episode.
ALEXEN trucking, Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, we taking y'all backstage. Holla, holla. I'm focused, man. Tell Andrew to holla at me, man. ALEXEN trucking, you heard? ALEXEN trucking, you heard? Yeah. Yes, y'allin'. ALEXEN still hauling.
Today, I will tell you the majority of trucks that I buy. This is all through personal experience because I spent the money to figure this out for myself, and I know it can help others. But before I start, let me get my prayer in. Dear Lord, give me the wisdom to serve the viewers in a way that's pleasing to you, so that my words will serve the viewers who you wanted to serve. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, let's get to it. You see, what I focus on is not the truck. The truck is just a shell. I focus on the engine because that is the soul of the truck. So first, I want to go over the 5 well-known engines. First one, Detroit. Detroit is a truck engine manufacturer that has been around since 1938. They make diesel engines and have done so for the last 86 years so far. They make DD15s, DD14s, Series 6, and Detroit Series 60. Cummins. Cummins is an engine manufacturer that has been around since 1919, and they focus on diesel engines. They've been in business for 105 years. They make Cummins ISX, Cummins N14, Cummins ISB, etc. MaxxForce. MaxxForce is an engine manufacturer that started making engines not in the 1900s, but in 2008. And I'll get to that, why that is so alarming. Paccar. Paccar is a diesel manufacturer, and they didn't start out as a diesel manufacturer. The company started in 1924, but they entered the diesel market in 1945, meaning they've been in the trucking space for the last 79 years. Caterpillar is a diesel manufacturer that started in 1928. They've been in the diesel space for 98 years. I only focus on trucks that have Detroit or Cummins engines. Those two manufacturers, since the start of their company, has evolved around diesel engines, and they are 2 of the oldest manufacturers. You want to have a truck that has an engine that is proven to be credible, meaning I'm not interested in buying a truck whose manufacturer isn't credible in the diesel space. That's why so many people don't like MaxxForce engines. The manufacturer started making engines in 2008. That's way too recent to have established credibility. And every truck or fleet owner I know that has a truck with that engine hates them. You know why? It's because they have no pull, meaning that they struggle to pull weight. The parts are expensive, and it's hard to get parts for those trucks. Also, trucks that have a MaxxForce engine are cheap. I'll give you an example where I can show you the true value in the truck is in the engine and not the shell. For example, go look this up right now. You can take an International with a Cummins engine and look up an International with a MaxxForce engine, and you will see the drastic change in price. Now, Detroit is great engines, but I only recommend Detroit Series 60. Now, I do have a Cascadia with a DD15 engine, but they can be problematic and expensive. The rebuild on a DD15 engine will cost anywhere from $18,000 on the low end to $25,000. Those engines aren't built to go over 1,000,000 miles. Not saying that doesn't happen, but they're not built to do that, like the old school trucks or like the old school engines. Without having to do a rebuild, you'll be lucky to even make it past 500,000 miles without having to rebuild a DD15. A Detroit Series 60 is the most reliable Detroit engine in my perspective, and they stopped manufacturing them when the DEF emission system came into play and had to be put on trucks. So Detroit stopped manufacturing Series 60 and transitioned to DD15. Prior to transitioning to DD15, they had made a mass production of Series 60 engines for over 15 years. I studied this. to where they got all the kinks out of it. You see, you have to be mindful. When a new version engine is produced in the market, it's going to take time to get it all the way right. So when they sell new trucks with newer model engines, you're being the guinea pig. So the manufacturer can see what parts will need a recall. And then they have to upgrade those parts based on the response from the massive consumers that purchase them. And then the parts that need to be recalled are going to be on back order because now the manufacturer is in the process of upgrading them. And guess what? The new trucks are going to spend time in the shop. So it's a process to get a truck all the way right. That's why Max Force engines were so terrible, because they got in the diesel space in 2008. It takes at least 10 years to really get all the kinks out of a new model engine, because you have to see what parts are going to be recalled, then make those parts better, then push those parts out to see if it fixes the problem. And sometimes it takes a couple rounds, which translate to years. So in the meantime, you're going back and forth to the shop with this new truck that looks pretty. I used to tell drivers that would complain about an older model truck, I used to say to them, do you want to be on the side of the road looking pretty or out there making money? Because a truck doesn't need all that fancy computer stuff to be efficient. That's why I focus on trucks that had Detroit Series 60 engines before they were transitioned to DD15. When the transition happened to DD15 engines, it was such an outcry due to the issues owners were having with these newer model engines. Detroit had to do something drastically. So what they did was roll out glider kits, which is they would take a newer body shell and put an older model engine in it, which was the Detroit Series 60. And then they started selling those trucks from $80,000 to $100,000. It was a perfect model in response to the outcry, because now people aren't complaining about the truck looking old, even though the engine is a 1995 engine. It was a great psychological selling tactic by Detroit that made them a lot of money, because a truck with an older shell and same 1995 engine, the price goes down by 60%. But since they put a newer model shell and put an older engine with all the kinks removed, they package it up and sell it as glider kit trucks. Detroit Series 60 engines were built to give you 1 million miles minimum with no rebuild. And if you have to rebuild them, you're not spending more than $11,000. And guess what? I know you're going to get another 1 million miles after it's rebuilt. Whereas a DD15 will cost you up to $20,000 plus to rebuild. And you'll be lucky to crack $500,000 without having a major issue. Now, let's move to Cummins engines. Cummins are great. Only Cummins engines I would recommend are ISX or N14 engines. They're very good. They're very reliable. Paccar engines. Paccar engines are okay, but the parts are expensive, and they're hard to get sometimes. Paccar engines are mainly in Peterbilt and Kenworth. I have 2023 Peterbilts that I leased, but I got a contract that demanded extra trucks immediately, and so I had to hurry up and grab those. And they all have Paccar engines, and they've been okay. The parts are very expensive, but I still prefer my Series 60s over them. Lastly, Caterpillar. So Caterpillar engines are good. They're good engines, but the parts are expensive, and a lot of parts stores don't sell Caterpillar parts. And sometimes it can be hard to find a tech to work on a Caterpillar engine because they're not heavy in the semi-truck space like they used to be. They're more prevalent in the heavy equipment machinery space for like bulldozers and excavators. That's where they make their money. The truck I would always advise to buy are glider kits, and I know how to get them for under $40,000. The Series 60s are easy to work on. The parts are not expensive. It is the least expensive truck to rebuild, and you will never have problems getting parts because Freightliner stores are everywhere, and a lot stay open until midnight. It's so helpful when the manufacturer of the engine that's in your truck has stores that are open until midnight, as opposed to a manufacturer whose stores close at 5 p.m. The majority of stores that sell Paccar and Cummins parts close at 5 p.m. But a lot of Freightliner dealers stay open until midnight, and it's so helpful when you need a part at 9 p.m. at night, so you can run a late delivery load, and the part store is open, and it has the part available. It's so clutch. You want to have a truck where the manufacturer has a lot of store locations. I can go more in depth on this topic and the science and what I do, but it will take me at least 10 more episodes. So just be patient with me because it's a lot more I need to break down on this topic. So just be patient with me as I get better at serving you guys. And thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for the responses that you guys have given me. Thank you for the comments. Thank y'all the Instagram DMs. Thank y'all. You guys really encourage me to keep serving y'all every single week. And like I told you in my first YouTube video, I know my purpose is to provide awareness. I don't know if it means 6 videos or 600, but until the Lord tells me when my time is up, I'm gonna keep serving you. So I'll see y'all next week, and thank you for tuning in today. Please like, share, and subscribe.